removing old classrooms, old mud structures, replacing them with well thought out infrastructure that provides those basic essential ingredients without technology, without having to revert to electric light, for instance. You can do it with sunlight. It's in the mornings that classrooms need to be orientated so that they're warm, they're comfortable for teaching to happen inside them.
Are we there as Eastern Cape in that classroom of the future scenario in terms of the projects that you're involved in?
Look, we would like to take it much further than where we are at the moment. And all we're trying to do is create classrooms that can accommodate, that can in the future be equipped with the very high-tech equipment that we're talking about. The reality is that architecture is a slow art. You build something now, it's going to stand for 50 years. We have no idea where technology is going to be in 50 years. We don't even know if that classroom is going to be required. But at the moment, it is required. It looks like this. And we try to put in as much as possible with that future in mind. But it's in the Eastern Cape, definitely, and in other parts of the country like KwaZulu-Natal and Limpopo, we are a long way off. You know, we're a long way off to getting to that ideal. Yeah.
One of the things for NEMISA that was raised in Dr. Greg's presentation is this whole issue of the skills deficit with the teacher. There's a figure of 24,000 that's been put in place. How do you see your role in terms of what's happening? You've got private sector stakeholders that are here. What kind of conversation that's going through at NEMISA at the moment?
Okay, thank you for that question. We're pleased to say, as you already presented, that we actually are working with the DOE to skill some of the teachers. Some of the teachers in this room right now have done an eSkills for all course in collaboration with us. It was sponsored by NEMISA. Now, we feel that as he says, the number of teachers are growing. There's a large number of teachers around the country, and we as NEMISA are always happy to work with the Department of Education in order to make sure that if there are centers that are available, because our portion is skilling, if they have centers available, ready centers available, we're able to come in with accredited courses, which I think most of the teachers appreciate as they're very hands-on and assist them with education. So we're very pleased to say, to date, we have worked with them so far in making that work and using some of their centers to do that.
Do you mind sharing some of the program modules that you are engaging in with teachers at high level?
At high level, there is the course, the eSkills for All course that was conducted and should be actually starting in the near future in collaboration with them. So it's using their facilities and we come in with the eSkills part because the vision, one of the vision of NEMISA is to have an eSkills society by 2030. And teachers, we feel that teachers can assist us because they penetrate into the communities, they work with students. But beyond that, we also go into the communities themselves through other available centers that are there.
Okay. At the learner level, one of the things, the MEC that you mentioned when we launched this conference, he said it's almost what Mike and Dr. Greg was saying earlier on, is that the learner must not be lost in the conversation, because that's the key stakeholder. In the training programs that you're doing around digital schools, where is the learner in that conversation?
The learner is actually, we have hosted some sessions with learners. One of the sessions that we would have liked to host, even at this venue, was a cyber security class for them, so that they know what is the internet, what does it mean to when you're on the internet, is there any threat to you and the like, so that they are aware of the security challenges that might be there. And another program is actually working with software to program Legos. That's something that we've done with learners, so that they are aware of the potential of doing CAT or IT-related subjects in future, if someone is interested in programming, for example.
Okay, so that will look at coding,
Yes.
hackathon type.
Yes, little sessions with learners so that they are aware of what to do and expose them to programming.
Okay, all right. Look, I just want to come back to the school environment issue. Is that if you look at your private school type classroom set up in terms of student population, you normally have an average of about 17 to 20 learners per classrooms. And our classrooms, which your typical rural township classroom, you're probably sitting about what, 40, 50 learners in the classroom? What's the information there in terms of this conversation about, are these classrooms going to be designed with the stats that you find in the classroom in terms of the high number of learners, these hackathons, coding things, learners having to come on weekends, doable in terms of the current infrastructure that we have?
Yeah, I can't remember exactly the figures that we plan them for now, but the classrooms are basically designed for 35 learners to 40 learners maximum. Obviously, in many instances, there is more kids in those classrooms. One of the things that we are looking at is for instance, furniture. How do we provide furniture, which is a very simple thing to provide, that can be actually moved around, take smaller spaces, and then are able to cluster together in groups of 5. Because we find many times we get into a class and they arrange furniture different to what the architects think because architects, we're thinking, okay, there's a teacher in front, there's rows of classes, because that's what we remember. But they cluster them together and they make them adaptable. So that's a very fundamental and straightforward thing that we can change very quickly and immediately. Make furniture that is adaptable and able to accommodate new technology in any way. But yes, overpopulation is a problem, And I think the fact that you could start implementing technology is one of the things that can help with that. Where kids can learn, teach themselves. I got a daughter, and she's in a school where there's different grades in one class.
Yes.
And they teach each other.
In the same class?
In the same class.
Wow.
And we think, no, that shouldn't be like that. But yet it works well. Right? They teach each other. It starts. So it's a change in mindset that's also required, I think.
Requires a paradigm shift to how we traditionally see the classroom environment.
Yeah. Definitely, and especially we're busy developing 61 small schools where there are 35 kids, and in a small environment, that's, I think, where the technology really comes into play. Where you have 2 teachers, what is the skill set of 2 teachers? I think teachers of 40 together, they can ask each other, they can learn from each other, but 2 teachers sitting somewhere, they really are out on their own, and technology can really assist them and assist 35 kids also greatly. And I think that's one of the places to start.
Look, we've seen great improvement in higher education, I must say, and I know that some of my friends who have these, I'm from Port Elizabeth, those who from Port Elizabeth would know the Summerstrand area has become almost a student village as a little suburb. But one of the things we've picked up is that the requirement has become very much priority to have connected student accommodation, whether it's a forum house